but unlike the pure jet, single-engine jet of the Vampire, this is a twin turboprop aircraft, demonstrating just how slow he can fly. Tony de Bruyn, and the OV-10 was operated in the ground attack, light ground attack, and also aviation patrol role. A tail there reminiscent of the Sea Vixen. And this year is the 50th birthday of the OV-10. It was 1965 that the aircraft first flew. But I won't ask you to join me in a chorus of happy birthday to you. Based in Belgium, just outside Lille. This is one of only 2 airworthy Broncos in Europe. And as it says in the programme, the aircraft has excellent short field takeoff and landing performance. And the only other time I've seen it display was at a small private strip in front of a crowd of about 500 people last August down in Kent. And as I learned at briefing this morning, in the colour scheme of the Royal Bavarian Air Force, because apparently OV-10s used to go down to Bavaria to operate on manoeuvres down there. Obviously that was more in the light attack role than the maritime patrol environment, and some of the locals down there have set up a club called the Royal Bavarian Air Force. They approached Tony because this actual aircraft, the OV-10, was one that used to operate down there on detachment, and he was delighted to become an honorary member of the Royal Bavarian Air Force. A very agile aircraft, as you can see. So almost operating reminiscent of the A-10 Warthog that's been used out in Afghanistan, in the Middle East. You know, being able to perform very tight turns. So therefore you can imagine a pair of OV-10s operating together just like a pair of A-10s could keep fire concentrated on ground targets very easily between them. But it's a good opportunity for us all to give him a wave. Tony has flown over here from Belgium to display for us. Let's give him a wave to show our appreciation as he flies slowly up the display line. Clearing up the undercarriage now. Before later retraining as a pilot. He's since flown the Tornado, Harrier and Dominate before moving to 16 Squadron and flying the mighty Tutor. This loop that he's pulling into now is one of the first aerobatic manoeuvres that new pilots will learn in the RAF. And he's not new to display flying either, and he was a Tutor display pilot in 2014 as well, with a previous stint in 2007 and 2008. Up next is a reverse half cuban 8, and he pitches to 60 degrees nose up, rolls inverted, and then pulls through for the second half of a loop. When he's not displaying, Andy is a qualified flying instructor with number 16 Squadron at RAF Wittering, who along with 703 Naval Air Squadron, 674 Army Air Force Squadron and the superb 57 Squadron are responsible for teaching and inspiring the next generation of military pilots.
While the Tutor itself may not defend the skies, EFT is responsible. So if you age between 13 and 17 and fancy giving some of these aerobatic manoeuvres a go, such as this graceful barrel roll, then contact your local ATC squadron. There's over 1,000 nationwide, so you're guaranteed to find one near you. Coming up next is the inverted pass. As Andy flies by, he'll be feeling negative 1G. He then pushes forward on the stick, up to negative 3G. Any pilots out there will realise how uncomfortable Andy is during that manoeuvre. Aerobatics are a vital skill for military pilots, as they instill confidence in both the aircraft and the pilot's own ability. For example, this slow roll requires Andy to expertly operate the elevators, ailerons and rudder to keep the aircraft straight and level while rolling. Cameras ready and your hands in the air for the Royal Air Force Tutor Display 2015, Flight Lieutenant Andy Priest.
This is the number 771 Naval Air Squadron, and what we're going to see today is a demonstration of how the Sea King cooperates with the RNLI, the Royal National Lifeboat Institution. We've been talking about how the aircraft display teams this year are all volunteers. In fact, the scenario we have here is the other way round, where the helicopter crew are not volunteers, they're full-time employed by the Navy, but of course the lifeboatmen, as we know, are all volunteers and do heavily depend upon donations from the public to keep the RNLI going. So I always think of this demonstration as the hokey-cokey, because it seems to me they put somebody on the end of the line and then it's in, out, shake it all about. They dip him in the water, they pull him up, dip him in the lifeboat, unclip him, pull somebody else up from the lifeboat, and you can see the first man there is the rescue diver being lowered from the Sea King helicopter, so the bosun of the lifeboat is moving in, and this exercise requires a great deal of coordination because of course the pilot, the co-pilots of the Sea King can't see what's going on down below them, so they rely on the winchman who's just leaning over the open door to direct them as to, faster, slower, stop, forward, back, a bit like the golden shot. And there we are, so that was, I'm not sure if that's the same guy going back up or if we've actually just exchanged personnel. But that was all done very quickly, very efficiently. And just like the formation aerobatics and formation display teams we've seen so far today, so the bosun of the lifeboat has to formate on the helicopter night. The squadron's capable of operating within a 200 nautical mile radius of RNAS Culdrose, where they're based, and they typically carry out more than 200 rescues a year. You can see just how much spray the rotor blades are kicking up there. So that's either an empty strap that they lowered, or else it was a very small person on the end of the winch. I think it's the former. And a very quick transfer once again. They must have just clicked that strap on so quickly and then hoisting it up very quickly, showing just how speedily the transfer can be effected. Now, of course, this transfer is being done with the smaller inshore lifeboat. Not so much room for manoeuvre there. Oh, it looks like they're sinking there, disappearing behind that wave. Reenacting that scenario, perhaps from a pilot who's had to eject from his aircraft. He survived the parachute descent. He's managed to either inflate his life jacket or his personal survival dinghy. And now the rescue diver is there to recover him. It could be he's unconscious. So the rescue diver has to withstand the swells caused by the rotor downdraft, secure the person in the sea, and then recover him safely to the helicopter. There he goes, the downed airman, or air person perhaps I should say, is being recovered to the helicopter. The helicopter itself absolutely motionless. Safety on board. Wave, in fact, we've got the lifeboat speeding along behind the Sea King. So the Sea King based at Cauldron. See the flight crew waving out of the window and giving us a bow as well. That does deserve a wave back, doesn't it? There we are. Looking spectacular with the afternoon sunshine glinting off the fuselage.
The Hawk T2 is one of the most advanced bus jet training aircraft in the world. And as we've discussed, despite sharing a name, it's almost an entirely new aircraft in comparison to the Hawk T1 flown by the Red Arrows. It's important to note that, like any military aircraft, these two aircraft you see here today are only one part of the story. The Royal Air Force exists to protect the nation and its interests. It projects military influence from the air at speed and range, and if necessary, offers proportionate and precise military force at relatively low risk and cost. Here you see Ben and Toby presenting a different view of the T2 as they fly at top side pass. Now we see Ninja slowing to below 230 miles per hour as they show you the landing configuration of the Hawk T2 whilst in close formation. Pilots manoeuvre to avoid the threat. And with the ground threat defeated, Ben and Toby will now demonstrate the air combat skills On board, the pilots will be using all the aircraft's air-to-air capabilities as if it were real. The only element missing is the missile itself. Ben's worked really hard here as a hostile aircraft and defeated his missile. So Toby now closes in for guns. Again, the gun sight is displayed for the pilots as if it were real. The aircraft even counts down the number of rounds fired as the trigger is pulled. With Toby hot on his tail, Ben must fly his aircraft as bold as possible to avoid what in this case would be a damaged ego, but for the trainees could all too soon be a damaged aircraft or worse.
Manoeuvres so rapidly it's not possible to keep up with what's going on. Look at that, amazing. In competition aerobatics, all of this takes place much higher. It takes place in an artificial box in the sky, where points are given not only for the crispness and originality of the manoeuvres, particularly in the freestyle aerobatics, but also positioning to make sure that the aircraft doesn't fly outside of the box. So while we've still got a patch of blue sky there, let's have some music for some blue sky action.
Got me some blue sky action. I'm breathing
Nose and tails swapping places there very rapidly in that manoeuvre. Sliding sideways down the display line, doing things that you wouldn't expect an aeroplane to be able to do. Now a slow fly past up the display line. Let's give Gerald a wave there, please, for that fantastic display. European freestyle aerobatic champion, Gerald Cooper. Coming in from the right now, let's have some appropriately Russian music to accompany his display. Almost as quiet as the vampires as well. Well, he's a member of the squadron as a Rep 52. And it was in service up until 1990, whereupon it was exported to the US, based just outside Washington. But it came back to Europe in last year, when as a fighter pilot, flying the MiG-15. Surprisingly enough, the Russians copied it and manufactured it themselves and put it in a MiG-15. Let's give him a wave. A great display there by Kenneth from Norway. Go. And going to free fall at 120 miles. And they're out of the aircraft into free fall at 120 miles an hour. The main body, yes, they're pulling their parachutes immediately. Yes, it's 4,000 feet. And they're putting more smokes on now, so what they're doing, they're looking around at one another, they're testing the left and right toggles of their canopy to make sure that they can fly those canopies to the ground. They haven't pulled any reserves, so they've decided that everything's okay, and they'll now get into that famous stack of the Royal Air Force Falcons. So they're coming in. Now the man on the outside, a little bit separately, is the cameraman. He's actually filming the team, and he will on the next turn slot himself in to the top of that stack. Now can you see that stack developing? The cameraman just almost there now. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is why they are the parachute jump instructors of the #1 parachute training school, regarding around the world as the most advanced parachute team in the world. Very shortly now we could even see a split stack spiral, where half of the team will go one way and half the other. So let's go back to Flight Sergeant Kerry Marshman. He's from South Wales, and he's at the bottom of the stack talking to the team. Just like the Red Arrows. Except we don't do it with engines. Now, split stack, now. I say split up on a split stack spiral. Half in one direction, half in the other. Ladies and gentlemen, this is really, really precision parachuting. You can see why they are the best in the world. Around and meet back up again. Now, smoke on, now. So this right, 180, right, now, make the steady turn. So this is the team coach at the bottom of the stack with the right smoke. Now, no chance to raise it, work hard, grabbing it really slightly left, the sailor was left, turning left, 18, turning left, now.
Nice and slow turn. There's 90.
Now they can hear you from here, so come on Sunderland, let's give them a marvellous welcome here.
Right, 180, turning right. Now.
Right at the very top of the stack are the first years, the very first year in the team. Halfway down we've got the second years, and at the bottom are the third years. Look at that perfect stack they've done us. Give them a round of applause, please.
Now, everybody if you're listening, we're coming in here. And you, George Durham.
Did you hear that? That was Kerry Marshman from the bottom of the stack, saying they're coming to see you all.
It looks quite strong. Next one will be left on my base leg. Turning left. On my base leg, turning left. Now.
Isn't that absolutely marvellous? Come on, keep it going, keep your applause going.
Passing my target. Now.
This is a team demonstrating the excellence and professionalism of the Royal Air Force, its personnel and equipment. And as they land, I'll introduce them to you. Flight Sergeant Kerry Marshman from South Wales. Sergeant Chris Williams from Glamman in South Wales. Corporal Ryan Norris from Tredegar.
The Royal Air Force Aerobatic team, the Red Arrows!
Coming left now. Holding now, now, time.
Starting with a rolling display, you hear the voice of Red 1 squadron leader David Montenegro, who's just called them into 9-arrow formation. In that left-hand turn at 400 miles an hour, the jets will now collapse to around 6 feet apart as they form the shape of one big red arrow with those 9 aircraft. Red 1, squadron leader David Montenegro is the team's leader. It's his first year as the leader, but he spent 3 years previously with the Red Arrows from 2009 to 2011, including leading the synchro pair. In from the left now, this is 9-arrow.
Rolling. Out. Lifting it. Out.
The call there into chevron, you see Reds 8 and 9 pitch up and roll back rapidly to sit behind Reds 4 and 5 as they're about to start a right-hand turn towards us. On the leader's right wing is the first of our 3 new pilots this year. He's Red 2, Flight Lieutenant Mike Bowden. Mike started off his career as a Hawk flying instructor before then flying both the Harrier GR9 and the Tornado GR4 before joining the Red Arrows. So coming in from the right in this swooping descending turn, we're in the shape of chevron, ready to fly one of our formation barrel rolls as they come in over the port to fly the chevron roll.
Rolling. Out. Easy. Up. Back on. Stop.
Now as they start to go upside down, everybody, this is one point they'll see you waving. Arms in the air, let's give them a huge wave. They go upside down at 2,500 feet, 400 miles an hour. The jets in that formation of chevron are only 6 feet apart. Red 1, clearly the guy at the front leading of the Battle of Britain. We've introduced this shape this year to honour all of those who took part in the summer of 1940 in securing our skies, and also for those who secure our skies in the present. Ladies and gentlemen, the smoke is on. This is Spitfire. In this descending turn, here's our trademark, it's Diamond. lowermost aircraft as we see it is flown by the last of our new pilots. He's Red 5, Flight Lieutenant.
Right, rolling now.
Each of the pilots there flying an aileron roll manoeuvre, which essentially is a full left-hand control column input to roll the aircraft very rapidly around its longitudinal axis. The key to the whirlwind is getting all 9 jets doing it at exactly cameras ready. They're about to reverse this turn. The smoke will come on to show you Blackbird.
Reverses left now. Hold in the pipe. Now tightening.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is the end of the first part of the Red Arrows display. So far, you've seen all 9 aircraft together in dagger. They're rolling out directly towards us. The smoke's about to come on. Get your cameras ready for the detonator.
Out, rolling, out.
On comes the smoke. Here comes the ramp down. So, Enid splits, keep your eyes on Jippo. Here we go. With his smoke changing to... The synchro pair leave their smoke on. They now turn away from us. They're pulling. Looks like that jet ski driver is trying to get involved with this display. The synchro pair slingshot out to the front. Look to your right, 45 degrees for Enid. There's Enid's smoke going on. The wings are dropping down to form an inverted V shape. And in from the left, with the smoke on, is Red 9, ready to fly the Goose.
Power, coming right now.
Climbing steeply, drawing a red, white and blue stripe, is Red 9. He is Flight Lieutenant Joe Hurston. Joe started off as a Hawk instructor, then moved on to fly the Tornado GR4 before going back to the Hawk. This time he instructed on the Hawk and its new guys. You saw Team Ninja display earlier in their Hawk T-Mark 2 as the Royal Air Force's new advanced jet trainer. That's exactly what roll around Red 6. Unfortunately, the cloud base does not allow us to fly our heart, so these guys get ready to split in the Vortex. Cameras ready for the opposition barrel roll. Now look out to the left where you'll see Enid are being joined by Reds 8 and 9. In fact, there's Red 8 still joining.
Now.
Smoke comes on in this T-shape, known as Tango.
Now, fine.
This manoeuvre known as the Helix. Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 acknowledge the move. Now Reds 4 and 8 go right, Reds 5 and 9 go left as they form the shape of leaders benefit. Well, when the Red Arrows fly their aircraft only 6 feet away, they're not looking at the jet next to them, they're actually focusing on reference points on the leader's aircraft. They just trust that the pilot flying next to them will put their aircraft
in the right place. With the wings further forward in this shape, which incidentally is 100 metres or 300 feet wide, they get a much better view of Red 1, hence the name Leaders Benefit. The smoke comes on as they bring those 9 headlights towards us in that very wide Leaders Benefit formation.
Listen it. Out. Rolling. Out.
Left and right again now for the synchro pair. This time Red 6 from the left, and here comes Red 7 from the right. They're once again closing at 800 miles an hour, and they're going to cross 3 times in opposing 360-degree 6G turns in the carousel. So remember, the pilots are working hard, pulling 6G in this manoeuvre. They're going to cross 3 times. So avoiding each other 3 times. Now notice that the pilots will swap their smoke colour from red to blue and vice versa using the individual colour control buttons on each of the aircraft's control panels. When they then cross at the front, they switch back to white smoke. Now looking out to the right 45 degrees to find Enid a dozen times.
Now.
In the twister.
Hold in the sight. Now, tight. And... Listen it. Out. Rolling. Out.
Getting very dizzy with his smoke changing from red to blue is Red 4, Flight Lieutenant Stu Campbell. Stu's in his 2nd year with the Red Arrows. He started off as a Tucano instructor, displaying the Tucano 2010 from 2008, and then he became a Tornado GR4 pilot with number 617, the Dam Busters Squadron. Now look out to the left to find Jippo as they get ready for a barrel roll with a very big difference. We saw a formation roll in the first half of the display. This is a very special one coming in from the left as they've got their smoke on.
Rolling.
Red 6 now rolls upside down.
Easy. Up. And roll.
You can hear the pain in Red 6's voice. He's pushing minus 2.5 G. He's the right way up. The other 3 now the wrong way up as they fly the mirror roll.
Holding the fix. Now. And 6. Rolling up.
You can hear him working hard at minus 2.5 G. Very uncomfortable doing that. The inside pairs pitch up to the outside in the rollbacks.
Clear. Go.
Fabulous rollbacks finishing down to the right. Drag your eyes slightly further right to find the 4 jets of Jippo. Down in close formation.
8 and 9. Roll.
This is the corkscrew. Now everybody, let's give the synchro pair a huge wave as they fly past upside down. Big wave, everybody. I have a horrible feeling we're about to get very wet. Red 7 there is working very hard. He's flying his jet only 8 feet away from Red 6, but he's doing it while he's upside down. Better view into them as you see this ram's horn effect in the Cobra.
Clear. Go. 4 and 5. Roll. Right. Now.
See, Red 1's using coloured smoke, the others have their white smoke on. We produce the smoke by injecting diesel fuel into the aircraft's engine exhaust, and that burns at around 400 degrees C. That makes it vaporise. The white smoke is pure diesel, and to get the red and blue we add a dye to the diesel. We can carry 5 minutes of white smoke and a minute each of red and blue. So now Reds 2, 3, 4 and 5 perform some extra rolls as that Cobra manoeuvre finishes off to our front left. The synchro pair, they then roll before they get ready to split. Cameras ready for the Jippo break.
A little bit off. 7. Go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the synchro pair. And now, looking directly ahead, you'll see Enid being joined by reds 8 and 9 for the displays finale. You can see that we're ready now for the Vixen break. You've been watching the Royal Air Force Aerobatic Team, the Red Arrows!
Well, the weather almost turned off for the whole show, but that was an absolute blast. Yeah,
just in front of the Marriott Hotel, between the Marriott Hotel and the Lighthouse as well, get a good view of the beach assault.
So hope you enjoyed watching this. It was good for both of us to get back here again. So peace out everybody and take care.
Over on the left-hand side, we still hear two women are engaged in the festival achieving their dreams. However, enemy has found a new figure to their attack, and they're not going without light. The Royal can have their hands full of the enemy assault this location. And we just also know from the radio that the enemy renegated the mark has actually taken cover with this past country. So that's obviously interesting. After turning the robbery, the market is calling the helicopter again. This helicopter will be played out and the 848 squadron, Commando helicopter force, and the report